Welcome to the SPARKCITY webinar. My name is Sungjin Park, CEO of the global smart city think tank SPARKCITY. And this webinar is part of our global smart city intelligence platform initiative. And we invite leading experts from around the world to share insights and engage in thoughtful discussion on the core concepts and emerging directions of smart cities. Our guest speaker today is Professor Reazul Ahsan. He is an associate professor in the Department of City and Metropolitan Planning at the University of Utah Asia campus, specializing in sustainable urban planning and urban ecology and new urbanism, most importantly. So the topic he has prepared for us today is smart city and new urbanism. And please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Ahsan. Professor Ahsan, the floor is all yours.
Thanks so very much for giving me the opportunity of discussing this city planning concept. And it's like this is the place where we all live. And city planning has never been static. That means it's never been stopped in one place. City planning has been started like around 500 BC since in Mesopotamia. Over the time, it's changing. But we are going to talk since we are thinking about modern planning. And the modern planning started after the Industrial Revolution, and Sir Ivinger Howard first proposed Garden City Plan. So what is Garden City Plan? Before saying this one in detail, I'll show you a small video clip and you can have a look. So this is the very thematical concept. When the Industrial Revolution happened in the early 19th century, everywhere is industry, polluted air. People are living in a congested environment. So people are asked for a better quality of living. And that's like the Ivinger Howard introduced the concept of garden city. And that is the initial stage of modern living. And that modern city living now ended up in today's smart city planning talk. And this, or the talk I am giving is today, like thinking about how to integrate the smart city with the new urbanism, that is human scale city. Can we make it together and make a better, future, livable, sustainable city? So that's our talk. So from here, let's start the talk and understand, is it possible? Or where are the challenges behind of doing this? So as I said before, and interestingly, I feel city is like fashion. You know, the fashion changes every year, every time new fashion comes. Fashion in clothing, the cities are also like fashionable. But the difference between fashion and cities change are more about the need, people demand, challenges. So over the time, cities have changed so many different phases. In the early days, the heavy industrial revolution when the steam engine involved, from there, when the motor invented, the cities become urban sprawl. People become highly dependent on car and far away they have to travel to come to the city. To reduce the urban sprawl impact, they make and introduce the compact city in from 1920s to around 2000. Compact city means everything in one place with transit oriented. Like the main transport station is there, people will come and move around. But that's become all compact in a congested place. Later, we're thinking about making city like a human centric, like where there should be a social bondness. People interact with each other. That introduced the new urbanism, like walkable city. Every facilities you can achieve within walking, within a short distance. Over the time, the technology take over their big data center, and they give us a concept of a smart city. Can a city itself take a decision based on the need of the city? So we are going to talk about these two sections, not the all of them, rather these two. And can our future cities combine a human-centric and data-centric city? And that is our main top. And I know the Sanjin is also working on the same concept in Spark City, how city could be more smart, connecting the human in the city. So let's think about why urban challenges, why the urban are changing. Because over the time, the urban challenges are congestion, pollution, climate change, social fragmentation, inequality, you name it. There are so many challenges. And every challenges we have to face, we have to make the new city that can adapt with the challenges. And that's how the cities are changing over the time. And the new urbanism concept is a human scale, where people can live within their scale level, working with a better environment, with less congestion. And that was the idea or the theory behind of establishing new urbanism concept. New urbanism concept really started in around 1996 in the US. The New Urbanism Congress of New Urbanism, they introduced this idea to minimize the post-Second World War conflict of the cities. After the post-Second World War, most of the cities are like urban sprawl, far from the center. People try to avoid the center. But then there's to be a compact society within a walkable distance, all the urban facilities within the same area, so minimize the urban congestion and better living. And that was the theory established in New Urbanism. So after 1996, the planning concept in early 2000, the New Urbanism Congress defined planning in a different direction. They defined the zoning reform. There is no specific land use zoning like residential zoning, commercial zoning, not like that. Rather, a mixed zoning. And they define the urban form. Like this is the urban form of compact open space with the people living around. And they introduce the place-making initiatives. So that's a big jump of traditional planning to new urbanism. Traditional planning was highly influenced by zoning regulation. For a long time, for centuries, we practiced this one. But the new urbanism was a big jump that changed the zoning regulation for more human-oriented zoning. And it's successfully adopted by many of the North American cities, and later is spread all over the Europe. So before going to give you more real-life example, let's watch one more video clip. And I prepared this video clip taking some help. And what is the new urbanism matter? Why new urbanism is so important for us in current days? Let's watch it.
All right, let's talk about something called new urbanism. It's new urbanism. And the main idea here is actually pretty simple. Basically, it's about designing places for people, again, not just for cars to pass through. Okay, so how does it work? Well, it all boils down to 4 main ideas. First up, walkability. Imagine things you need being a short, easy walk away. Next is connectivity. Think a simple street grid, not a confusing maze of dead-end roads. Then you've got mixed use. Homes, shops, offices, all in the same neighborhood. And finally, diverse housing. A mix of options for different people and different incomes. So you can really see the difference here. It's a total shift in thinking, right? But let's get real. Why does any of this actually matter to you on a daily basis? Because the benefits are huge. We're talking less traffic and a stronger, healthier community. And just look at the numbers. In these places, car use can drop by 30%. And it's not just about driving less. People actually bump into each other and connect more. When you boil it all down, it's really about having more choices. Real freedom. It's a hopeful look at the future, isn't it? We can have convenience and community.
So that's the main principle. Convenience and community. That's why the last other plan like compact cities and then urban sprawl doesn't give us the convenience and community together. So bring the convenience and community together, they introduce 4 principles: walkability, street walking, society. All those 4 major principles bring the new urbanism really a popular concept. And when it's become really popular, it's like introducing health benefit because people are walking around. And so It's a physically fit city. You could say like this way. Or also it's an emotionally fit city because people are bumping to each other. They're saying hello to each other. They're having a community bond. And at the same time, it's having environmental impact because less car on the street means less pollution, less energy consumption, and then mixed use. Upper floor is the residential, downstairs is the commercial activities. So the energy consumption is getting less. So more environment friendly. And then, as I said, it's physically healthy and mentally community bonded. When people live close by and connecting each other, they feel it's my place, placemaking. We often say, this is my city. I know everybody. I know the local pharmacist. I know the local guy. Because this is my city, place bonding. So city need to be for human, not for the cars. So when that idea came, it's become really popular all over the world, as I said before. And there are some examples. Like many cities are starting, wow, this is a good concept. Like especially Florida, the seaside Florida. In 1981, the seaside Florida first prototype beach city. They make a new urbanism. All the houses are walkable and community oriented. Then Disney planned the mixed city also in Florida. Then United Kingdom started it. Or sometimes you could say, why not Chongna in Incheon is a new urbanism concept? It is indeed. But we'll go and talk more about this one. Why not Songdo is a new urbanism concept? The people live close by. Now you could argue on it. So new urbanism in a modern days becomes so popular that many countries, especially the North American and European countries, very few Asian countries accept this. Very few Asian countries. Now this is the question come. Why not Asian countries are accepting this idea when this is so popular? We're going to talk about this one. Because new urbanism concept is still not free from criticism. The first and foremost challenges is aesthetics over equity. The new urbanism cities are focusing more about aesthetical beauty, the city beauty, nice cities, which they don't consider about equity or equality in the cities, that it could be accessible for everyone. And that's one of the main reason the Asian community cannot accept this in a large scale. Why? Because the Asian society are mixed with high income and low income. There is a high diverse in income group. There is a poverty issues. There is economical disparities, income gap. So when you make the cities more aesthetically beautiful, it's become overpriced. And then everyone cannot afford this one. So countries like China cannot accept this one in a large scale that we consider new urbanism because there's a high rate of poverty. Country like India, which has 1.2 billion people, cannot accept this new urbanism concept in largely. So that's become aesthetic over quality. Commodification risk, like new urbanism principle often become high-end development, but the people with the high-end income, those who have heavy income, they can afford this new urbanism concept, like seaside Florida. All the rich community can live there. So that are the few challenges. And then governance complexity. What does that really mean? The governing the city or high-end city complex management and the low-quality standard city management has two different policies. The waste management and energy supply all are different. So it's become a challenge for the local government authority to manage two different kind of city in the same region. So rather it's become a very specific city, not a regional concept. Local government always handle regional area, not a specific area. For example, take Incheon city. They don't only manage Cheongda or Songdo, they manage many other cities. Those are different. So when Cheongda and Songdo and with Bupyeong, they're completely different concept of management. So it's become a challenge for the local government authority. So that's why this new urbanism also become a challenge for many other countries. So keep remember, it's a good thing, but it also has its own challenges, like all other city planning concepts. So later in 2000 and 2005-10, we start thinking about smart cities and the major components of a smart city. There's a simple idea. A smart city is based on integrating information communication technology, ICT, IoT, Internet of Things, big data that can all work together to ensure the quality of life for the people and manage the major 6 concepts that's been challenging, like smart governance. New urbanism was a challenge for governance, but now the governance system could be very smart. Economy, environment, mobility, living, and the people. So that was a new idea. Like, yes, if we have the data, if we analyze the data, if we know the problem from the data, and if we can find the solution from the data, it'd be easy to handle the city, right? So a smart city concept generated from that idea. So how the smart city start working? Like sensor-based. For example, taking an air quality monitoring sensor. So it's keep the government always an update. Where is the air pollution happening? Which part of the city are more polluted compared to the rest of the other part? And then a smart mobility system, traffic management, big data analysis, and then intelligent e-grading system like energy consumption. The data can assess where we need most of the energy, where we need less energy, so that we can share the energy load. So this the smart city technologies start working with the sensor, data, a smart mobility, and e-government platform where community engage with the government. And the smart city make this a big jump. People can give their voice digitally immediately to the government. So with that voice, government can take the decision quickly. So a smart city allows the local community or the local people to involve or engage in the plan making process digitally and very prompt and easy, which is a long bureaucratic process in our old planning system. So these are the things smart planning cities become more popular. So those who don't have much of idea, I'm giving a very clear and quick idea how a smart city working and what are the challenges behind a smart city. So simple idea, a smart city is an urban area using electronic sensor to support info, use the manage street and reinforces the services. So get the data, find the problem and solve the problem. So that's how the city works, smart city. Before collecting the data, is sensor automatically get the data before asking the people, and government immediately know the problem and solve the problem as soon as possible for better living. So the origin of the idea smart city, one could say like very recent. I would say it started around 1990s when this popular internet and intranet, internet service connecting, like everything connected with the internet and intranet, like different organizations using the individual network. That was the first time the connectivity coming. And then later in 2000, when big companies like IBM, Cisco, they introduced a networking system, like all the major organizations connected in the similar network. So they can share the data among them. They can share the information. So the network line established by IBM and Cisco, network infrastructure, data network infrastructure, rather I should say data network. And in 2010, it's shifted from open data sources. Like data shouldn't be shared among the organization, but it should be open sources. Everybody can play with the data. So when that idea came, like everybody can play with the data, everybody can share the data, then why don't we share the urban data each other? All the urban organization, like the traffic management, fire service, hospitals, urban health, urban economy, all the open data can manage all together. And with all those data, we can use the smart AI in the modern days, analyze the data in a fraction of a second, and find the problem, key challenges, and involve the government with this key challenge and solve the problem. So from internet to today's AI, together bring the smart city concept a reality. So that's how the smart city concept came. And then the smart city is solving the urban problem. Like this was the typical urban problem before. Congestion. Everywhere the traffic is moving, traffic congestion. High urbanization. Densely urban development, air pollution, natural disaster, high energy consumption. So these are so many urban problems. And smart city planning, they find what is the reason of congestion? The traffic volume data collection, urbanization traffic volume, disaster data, they all collecting those data. So let's give you a real life example. You might find it. For example, the traffic sensor. When there is a traffic congestion, the roadside traffic sensor can immediately analyze which road is highly congested, which part of the traffic is not moving. They analyze the data and immediately send it to the traffic management system. They then change the traffic light or traffic condition and let the traffic move smoothly, which is Songdo is a very good example. That's why the Songdo can always manage the traffic condition. When they find which road is being congested, they immediately allow the traffic light instead of 1 minute, they make the green light 40 seconds. So car can move very quick. Or when there's less car dependence, they increase the red light timing instead of 40 seconds, 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that's how they can manage it with an immediate solution. And when there is a less traffic congestion, that means faster mobility. And at the same time, when the cars move fast, less congestion, less pollution. When we have alternative energy, energy consumption is less and clear energy. That means more clean air, more healthy living. So these are some of the examples how a smart city could be a very successful one and a very prompt solution, immediate solution of the problem, and ensure better quality of living for the people. But do you think, wow, a smart city is the good one? It doesn't have enough challenges. It's not really like that. Smart cities also come with its own challenges. For example, the smart city promises a better quality of living. So, information, citizen engagement. But then the challenge is, where is my data going? Who is using my data? Is it the government or somebody else going to misuse my data? I don't know if you're listening from this webinar from Korea a couple of days ago. There's a big scam that Coupang, one of the biggest site in Korea, the data get leakage. And Coupang hold the data of every citizen's personal information. This is scary, right? Or even you listening from some other part of the world, like sometimes the Tesla or the electric mobility car, they use the data in a different way and cannot perform as it's supposed to perform when it's an emergency and cause life-threatening. So these are the things. We promise a better quality of life, but then there is a scary. Who is having my data? How they're using it? Is it my data safe? Is my personal information? Is all the information of the particular cities, not only personal, economical information, environmental data set, everybody's identity, car registration number, anything could happen. And that's become a big challenge. And all the data leakage, how to control it, who is responsible to control it? So these are the biggest challenge of smart cities coming. Like how can I balance that my data are good to solve the problem, but they are also protected. But they are also secured and perform as needed. Not the data is performed for something else. So that's like that. How then we could be a future? So what is the challenge? Where we can have our future? So that's today's main topic or today's main lecture is coming up here. Can we make our technology more human-centric. So if you look at here, technologically advanced city means a smart city. Human-centric city means new urbanism city. So can our future could be technologically sustainable and human-centric? And that is our talk. So whatever I'm saying before is just like the background to understand the challenges and facts, and then how can we do it as a planner, as a professional, as a technologist, can we do this all together? So many cities are now using the smart technologies, yes, for the better living. Just an example, Singapore, the small island city, they adopt technology for everything like transportation, utilities and service, and comprehensive urban management. Barcelona, the super block use the sensor for air quality and urban public space using. Amsterdam introduced the traffic management sensor to introduce more bicycle-oriented city. Songdo used the sensor for almost for everything, so city safety and energy, and then Songdo get LEED certified city for using smart cities. So there are success stories behind all those challenges. But then why we need connect the both together? Why both concepts are essential in modern cities? And we learned this concept after COVID. Because COVID and climate change that introduced the new urbanism and smart cities are really important to be together. They cannot be like isolated from each other concept. So new urbanism that human scale places and digitally disconnected, like human scale, people can share the common public space, can connect with each other, and can be socially connected and supportive. At the same time, the digital city or the smart city can provide the information during the COVID time, what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And if we can merge this together, that will meet the Sustainable Development Goal by the UN. The Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 11, says is sustainable cities. At the same time, SDG 10 is saying reduce inequality. So people can share the idea through a smart city, which will reduce the inequality or new urbanism introduced. And then SDG 13, the climate action or any kind of health-threatening issues could be easily addressed and solved. So to achieve a sustainable city, a city that lasts long for everyone, not for the high-income group, not for the specific community, but for everyone, that is a sustainable city could be achieved when you have connected or integrated these two concepts, new urbanism and smart city together. So I just bring some examples to understand. So if we don't have new urbanism, so without new urbanism, smart technology risks inefficient and inequitably deployed car-centric suburb. If there is no new urbanism, only a smart city, then it will be more car-centric because sensor and data analyze the traffic. So I don't get more car, just get the car. So new urbanism, a smart city will introduce more car-centric. While without a smart tool, the new urbanism neighborhood will be more unequal in large scale. So together, it would introduce a 15-minute city. New urbanism introduce walkable. At the same time, the people has the information in their device, where I'm going and what services I can find. So it could be more 15 minutes or 20 minutes walking city. So less car dependency, well-informed, less energy, and that could be better tomorrow. So that's like, and I bring some example to play with and think with. This is just an example to think, whoever listening this one, can we do this way? So there are some like shared goals where you can do the sharing. New urbanism can ensure walkability. The smart city, smart mobility. So shared goal should be reduce car dependency. I will move smartly and that will less car dependency. And it will lower emission because when it less depend on car, I depend on the public transport, lower emission. civic participation. New urbanism introduced more public space and a smart city digitally engaging format. So you can be in the more, how do I explain it? New urbanism, public space, there is more part. People are coming, but they're individual. They're not connected with each other. But a smart city allow to people connect by their ideas, by their thoughts. So when people coming in the public space with the same ideas and thoughts, that will have more civic participation, connecting each other with ideas, thoughts, and new creativity. Mixed use density, that urban resilience, people live in a compact place. So it will ensure energy resilience, environmental resilience, and then sustainable mobility. That is transit-oriented development, like people are highly dependent on mass transit. At the same time, your hand device give you the idea where is your bus coming, when is your train coming. So you can plan your transit well advanced before starting. So that is more about sustainable mobility. So if I add new urbanism plus a smart city, it will give us this one, more healthy living. That's what we're all looking for. So let's put it in how this we can merge. What are the benefits you can? So think about a matrix of planning. So on the top is high walkability, bottom is low walkability. That is new urbanism. On the left is low digital intelligence, right is high digital. So high walkability and low digital intelligence will ensure sustainable mobility. High walkability and high digital is optimize the public space. We can have more open space. So if you put the ideas in this diagram, then you can find where is the equilibrium point. At what point we can balance a smart city concept and new urbanism. So I come up with quick ideas like synergy one. Like if this one is the synergy one, enhance mobility. That I know that I can walk to my nearest bus stop in 2 minutes and the bus will come in 2 minutes. So high walkability and less dependence on the car. So enhance mobility. People will move and ensure public and it's a compact mixed-use neighborhood. The benefit is reduce congestion, low carbon emission, improve accessibility, and real-time journey plan. We are all using our Kakao app in mobile, so you can find where is my car is, where is the taxi is, where is the bus is. So this is one of this one. Synergy 2, intelligent public spaces. Using monitoring, the air quality monitoring the public space, which parks are better in walking or jogging, so you can know the air quality, what time you are going to open the public space. Adaptive system. The parking space or the public space can adapt with the user friendly. When there is lots of user, then the lighting will up. When less user, less lighting. And the air circulation system. Opening the public space library within the park natural garden areas or the park areas. So that make the more adaptive system with the environment and the nature and the environmental quality. This always monitoring the heat, air quality, and humidity that let the people to think which is the right time to use the public space as a common people, rather than being stressed being the public space. Even the safety concern and all other issues can always be updated with the information. So people can take a decision, where should I go, with whom I should go, what time I should go there. And the synergy is sustainable resource management. That is the more compact use, new urbanism and a smart city. Compact use means using the building or residential area for multi-purpose. And the floor is commercial and upper floor is more residential. And each of those buildings can use alternative energy sources, like renewable energy sources. So they can all use the same energy sources and minimize the energy consumption. So compact urban development, giving more public and open space, at the same time, less energy consumption And along with this one is more urban safety in terms of natural disaster. The resilience could be more strong. So that is sustainable resource management. And equity and participation. That is the main thing. When people has the access to the open data source, they can immediately give their opinion. That this is the place we need a new rail station. This is the place we need a park. It's called citizen dashboard. Before, all kind of planning was kind of top down. The government take the decision. But a smart city and new urbanism, it should be citizen dashboard. What the people want. For example, why do you want to introduce a new hospital, like the high density area? So the people could say, this is the area is highly dense. Here we need more healthcare facilities. Or here we need more urban open space or green space. So it's become citizen dashboard where citizen immediately can give their opinion and government can handle this one. More interactive or inclusive governance management. And smart city and new urbanism allow this one, that governance become more interactive and prompt and effective. So it's not like something we're saying alien. There are examples like Barcelona super block and smart integration. So Barcelona introduced the new urbanism concept, super block. All those big buildings, they move their road inside and make a walkable street. So people can walk everywhere, all the facilities. At the same time, they use the smart technologies to use the shared mobility and smart traffic management and air quality. Introducing this one, the whole city reduced 25% of the traffic. Traffic reduction or highly car dependence reduced 25%. People can walk or ride bicycle anywhere they want. And then 30% of the air quality improve. Reduction of nitrogen dioxide level, and then 60% of the public space increased. So when there is no roadside parking, it become a roadside restaurant. When there is no gas station, because there is no car, it's become an urban small park. People are sitting there. So 60% of public space increased. People are connecting with each other. 30% air quality, 25% traffic reduction. So this is a real world example that some cities are doing it. Copenhagen, this is cycling and smart energy and carbon neutrality. They introduced a smart cycling lane. And Copenhagen, as well as Amsterdam, they introduced the bicycle traffic light. So they make a specific highway only for the bicycle, which is way faster than the car, because there is no traffic congestion on the bicycle lane. And it's also managed with the smart technology. So eventually it's become a healthy city, more energy efficient and carbon neutral. And we are going all over the Singapore. They introduced a long-term planning for using more of the smart technology and green space. 60% of the Singapore land are now completely green because there is the smart technologies of moving the highways to different traffic management system. All the digital infrastructure that people can update their information anywhere and everywhere in the city. And then integrated governance. Government has access to all kind of data, including air quality to public opinion. And that led them to prompt decision making, that you can take the decision immediately what is best for the citizen and for the city. Now, yes, there are some challenges often. The challenges are the new urbanism are sometimes nostalgic, like same city planning, when the smart cities are often corporate driven by the highly technologists and engineers. So this is one theory, and that is another theory. And merging these two theory and two different group of users and people sometimes cause a big challenge. How do I say? For example, like a planner, like professional me, like who's an urban planner, I focus more on the design and the land uses. On the contrary, IT guys, engineers who handle the technologies things, like Sangjin, for example, yourself, who more about the technology expert, then you think about more about the IT, IoT things. As a planner, I'm thinking more about the land use and people. And these two different group of people, sometimes the skill doesn't match. There's a thinking gap of these two group of people. At the same time, the skill mismatch. New urbanism mostly work for a small city, like a small area. On the contrary, a smart city work for a whole region. Like a smart city should come for the whole of Incheon, not for only Songdo. The rest of the cities are remain behind. So these are some of the biggest challenges when we are making these two concepts together. And we need to overlap or overcome this one. So the planner need to be educated with the smart technologies. And engineers or IT specialists also need to understand about the planning. And both the group also need to understand the citizens' opinion, the people who live in the city. As long as these three cannot be combined under the smart governance, this could be a challenge. So that's something we need to work on for our future cities, future city planning. So these are like the 5 critical challenges that we need to overcome, like governance and collaboration. The current governance needs to be more smart enough to understand the people needs and these two groups. Equity and inclusion. A smart city will ensure the equity, that all income group and everyone in the city could have the access to this one. Number 3 is more important, privacy and ethics. Ensure the data protection. Transparent algorithm that people can understand why is my data going, who is using it, how this can benefit me. Funding and scalability. The funding means this is a big project, where the money should come from. We cannot just introduce the smart cities. This is a huge expensive one. So where the funding come and how big the scale would be. Should it be a scale like Songdo, small city, or should it be a scale like Incheon? So how big the scale? As big as the scale is, the funding need to be higher and higher and higher. So that's need to be important. And then 5th is another most important, how technology and new urbanism can meet the global challenge, that is climate change and resilience from the climate threat. Can these two also make the city resilient to climate change? So these are the 5 challenges we need to overcome. We need to conduct more study, more research to bring this idea together, new urbanism and smart city together. So just like a quick one, the learning from Songdo. Yes, indeed, Songdo is a very good example where we're trying to learn from this way. Like, can Songdo smart city technology be a climate resilient, disaster resilient? Songdo's camera sensor is always tracking, is there any heat, any threat incoming? It could be natural disaster or man-made threat. How can you promptly respond to this one? And how can we integrate the Songdo's public space more functional, more usable? How the buildings in Songdo become self-sufficient in energy, can take the decision, and the building can also monitor their energy consumption, pollution level, and can guide the city government how to control it. So this is some of the good examples. A city could even be smart enough to take its own decision using the sensor and big data and provide the decision to the city governance and the people how to perform to have a better life. So Songdo is, I'm not saying Songdo is the final solution, but it's the learning phase. This is a idea, and that's why the Songdo, the first LEED certified smart city in the world. So how can you do the vision 2030, 2050? I'm just being imaginary. But yes, we can do it. That imagine a city with 15 minutes neighborhood, with super block scale, like every block, walkable everywhere. And then public host committee event, tracking ethical issues, and everybody has the equal rights in the city. All the information are available to the community. Community can give their opinion to the governments. That could be a more livable and successful city. And that will ensure a 15-minute neighborhood, seamless smart mobility that people can easily move from one mode to another, bicycle to subway, subway to the bus, and can move continuously. Net zero district energy, renewable energy, and energy share. Then regenerative infrastructure, that is the urban open space and the green space more efficient use. Participatory planning, that means planner, technological expert, government, and the citizen can all ensure their ideas by using the digital twins, creating an imaginary city and put their idea and implement in real world. And then ethical AI governance. That means like what data are going, it should be very ethically important. Ethical use of information and AI for the city. The people can trust that, yes, I am safe in this city. So I'm almost going at the end. So there's the mechanism, like we can do the integrated land use, brain metrics, knowledge sharing, and citizen assembly. So these are the new ideas of thinking. And I'm almost at the concluding part, the co-creating living future. So new urbanism and smart city is not separate paradigms. They are not two different things. You can't think that this is technology and this is community. This need to be together. And gaps I need to understand clearly and surely monitorable. Where is the gap? This need to keep on monitoring. Where is the limitation? And then get the information, analyze, and evidence-based solution. Like this is the gap. That's why we are having this challenge, and this is the solution. So the future city is walkable, connected, inclusive, and intelligent, built by and for its people. That's like my idea. A future city should be walkable, like less pollution, connected, more socially connected, inclusive. That means everything, information, data, and ethics are there and built by for its own people. It should be built by the people opinion, participatory planning. So that's all I want to say, how to integrate new urbanism with the smart city. Thank you so very much, Sangjin, for giving me the opportunity. Over to you now.
So thank you, Professor Ahsan, for the insightful and inspiring presentation. And it was a really excellent lecture, particularly in how it aligned the new urbanism with the smart city concept. And I found the reasons why the smart city community these days emphasize human-centered smart cities from your presentation. And I believe others who listen to this lecture likely felt the same way. So on behalf of SPARKCITY, I would like to sincerely thank you for sharing your expertise with us. And this session was pre-recorded, and appreciate everyone who is watching from around the world. And we look forward to connecting with you in our next SPARKCITY webinar. Thank you.